The holiday shopping season will look a lot different this year. Governor Ned Lamont is asking retailers to enforce social distancing and mask rules as cases spike in the state. Those same retailers are doing everything they can to ensure that you have a safe shopping experience.
Well, we do believe that retail can be done safely.
Black Friday is on the horizon, and so are the 5 most important weeks in the retail industry. The governor is asking local malls and shopping districts to monitor each other to ensure safe practices are being kept.
If you're not patrolling that and monitoring that and keeping the 6 foot of spacing, we're going to have a hard time keeping retail open.
Malls across the state are already prepping for large crowds. Extra staff will be on hand to monitor social distancing, store capacities, and navigating groups.
Start shopping some off-peak hours if you're able to.
Retailers are spreading their holiday shopping specials throughout the day to prevent a rush. They are advising shoppers to plan ahead.
We would encourage people to do what they feel comfortable with. If they're not comfortable coming into the center to shop, we also have a retail to go program, which is basically curbside pickup.
Curbside pickup is not limited to your big box stores. Many of your favorite shops at Yale are doing the same.
Many shops are willing to accommodate. With the shopping local, we can personalize that experience to the customer so that they are comfortable.
And while the experience may be different, the excitement remains the same. Many downtown New Haven retailers have teamed up for promotions to help spread holiday cheer.
If everybody makes a very concerted effort to shop local for at least some of your giving needs, it will make a tremendous impact on our local economy.
This year, New Haven is offering a holiday passport. Shop at one of the participating stores and spend $25. You'll get a stamp. Do that at 4 stores, and you'll be entered in to win a prize pack valued at $950. To learn more about that, head to fox61.com. In New Haven, Dave Puglisi, Fox 61 News.